Okay, so I don't know how to get it back to the one I had started. My son called me at the store, so I had to answer that phone call. So we're going to just start back off on Second Corinthians chapter 7, verse 7 through 10. So what God is saying is that he does not want us to be arrogant because life is going good. He wants us to be perfect in weakness, to lean on him, even though life is going good, to know that at any moment it can be taken away. Okay, that would be like the book of Job, where everything was gone. His house, his kids, his livestock, his money, his crops, everything. God told the devil said, I will guarantee you Job would curse your name if I take everything away. And God said, okay, but you cannot kill him. Do not harm him in any way. So he took everything. And Job, out of all of that, did not curse God. He said, naked I come into this world and naked I shall leave. That's what he said, because he believes in our Father. And God blessed him. He gave him many more children and a new wife after his original wife was like, curse God and die. Well, why don't you do the same thing? You're telling me to die, I mean, but that's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to keep your faith in Jesus, because Jesus says, I will give you tenfold what the enemy takes from you. So we just need to hold on to that. Don't be humble. Don't be arrogant. Don't think just, because life is going good, you didn't need nobody. No, you need Jesus. Jesus is what made this go good. That's what he's saying. Don't just forget about me. Understand that I am not weak, that I can have all this without you. God's saying, I am giving you this gift. Do not forget where you come from, is what he's saying. Okay? So, September 17th. I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. Galatians 2:20. Okay, now we're in Galatians, okay? So the only thing that I could think, because this is part of faith, okay, is to have faith that when Jesus sacrificed himself, this is what they're saying, I am sacrificed with him, because he gave himself for my sins, that I may go into heaven and be in the book of life that says, hey, she has a ticket. She gets to go home. She did what she needed to do. And it's saying, the life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God. So they're saying, I no longer live of flesh, but I live of the Spirit, even though I'm still in a body on earth. My being is spiritual. I feed off of the spiritual word, the praise and worship that I have by myself, or that I have with others. It just how it goes. God is saying, have faith in me. That when you accept me into your life, that you no longer live of the world, but you live of the Spirit. September 18th. So also, when we underage, we were in slavery under the elemental spiritual forces of the world. But when the set time had fully come, God sent his Son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those under the law, that we might receive adoption to sonship. Because you are his sons, God sent the Spirit of his Son into our hearts, the Spirit who calls out, Abba, Father. So you are no longer a slave, but God's child. And since you are his child, God has made you also an heir. Galatians 4, chapter 4, verse 3 through 7. So it's saying that we're royalty. God has made us an heir. He says that as we have a kingdom on earth, we will have a kingdom in heaven. I've had to walk these past few years and remind myself that I deserve better, that I deserve more, that I'm a good person, that I'm not perfect. I don't ever try to deem to be perfect, because I mess up a lot, you guys. There is probably not a day that I have not made a mistake. If it's not a mistake in my mind, if it's not a mistake in my heart, if it's not a mistake from my mouth or from my eyes, I sin on a daily. But God gave himself so I didn't have to sacrifice an animal just so that I could be forgiven. God gave the ultimate sacrifice so that all I have to do is say, please, Father, whatever it is that I have sat in your heart, please forgive me. I ask for redemption, Heavenly Father. He gave me that power to say those words, that my slate may be clean of any transgressions that I have gone against somebody that I never realized. Sometimes prayer is not just for us, it's for those that need it the most. And sometimes we got to forgive. We have to. Because if we can't forgive, we can't move on. And life is just it's already too much to add on to all that strife. I don't want no strife. I just want to be me. I want to be Tabitha LaRue. I want to be what God called me to be. That's it. That's it. God is just saying, don't forget what I have done to make sure that you could be with me in heaven. He gave his only son so that we could accept his son into our hearts, so that we could become his sons and daughters. That's what it says. That's what it says. So as soon as we accept Jesus, we have been adopted and we accept sonship of God. So God is our forever Father. You know, in the law, when you adopt a child, you can't disown them, because they're already been disowned. They've already been given up. So when you sign that paper, you're their forever parent. It's not like when you have a biological child. Apparently you have no ties to them, which makes no sense, because you had them. You gave birth to them. You helped create them. That means that you have a tie to them forever. They have your DNA in their blood. So that means that you need to be there for them. They didn't choose to be here. You chose to do the adult thing and bring them into this world. Simple. So September 19th. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourself be burdened again by a yoke of slavery. Galatians 5:1. Let me read that again, okay? For when we accept Jesus into our heart and we become adopted by God, it says it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm, then do not let yourself be burdened again by the yoke of slavery. Okay? We're not slaves to the world. And the world cannot harm us when we have God with us. Yes, I tell you, there's going to be a time that we have to fight. I mean, and it's going to be in our face. It's not just... It will not just be with the world. It will be with everything. So just take that in. And I will see you next time.